since last time? Okay, no questions, good. So last week we saw the setup of a FTP client. So we had so many other things we've been following up. We did a secure copy. Okay. So we did secure copy, we did a SHFTP, and then we did a VSFTP, right? So if you would have followed along all these steps here, you should be able to get into the folder when you type in FTP colon slash and then the IP address, okay? And this is where the public files are available. Okay, so most of the time, what happens is the FTP, you could grant the access to the, you can grant the access to any users, read-only access. So for that, you call the read-only access as an anonymous user access, okay? All right, we're gonna configure that and then be done with this here. By the way, this is the cheat sheet you could use for FTP commands here. You know, I barely use this because most of the time these commands are used by the end users, okay? But you will be configuring and setting up the server like this here. Okay, good. I think somebody has a question. No. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, let's see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if this is going to ask for the password here. I think I put in the password once already. So if I go into private mode and okay. Okay, for some reason I'm not able to demonstrate it because it's supposed to be coming up and giving you the, asking you for the password here, but I think I put in the root password once already, so it's keeping it. Okay, so let's take a look here. What happens is when you set up an anonymous user access, they are only able to copy the data down. Okay, they're not able to move the data back and forth here. So let's take a look here how we're going to do that. So what you have to do is, it's just simple. You have to go into this configuration file. Okay, so you go into this configuration file and enable anonymous user. Okay, so you go and search for ANON. Okay, so anonymous user, yes. Okay, this is good. And then local enable, you have to set this as no. Okay, and one other thing you need is
what is the local enable? Yes or no means, Bazaf?
so when you say local enable, the local user on the machine, it will be enabled. So if you uncomment this to allow local user to log in. So if it's yes, then the local user will log in. If you set it no, then the local user won't be able to log in. That means the the user has to be local. It will ask for, very first time when you try to log in, did it ask for the password? It asked for the password, username and password, right? All right, let me, before we connect,
Yeah.
let me start up another machine here. Okay, this one. Do we have a cricket match here today? A lot of people are not joining.
Zafar, I'm not watching match. I'm watching a class.
No, it was just a general question. I want to see if there is a match going on. That's why we have a low attendance. Okay. Okay, so this one is 104. So if I type FTP and then the IP address here, which is 106, I know for sure, 192.168.56.106. Okay, so do I have to type? I don't have to type colon, right?
No, we don't have to. Can we type open 192.168?
No. Okay, so FTP. Oh, the FTP needed to be installed on this computer here, I think. VSF. It was 107. right? We were working with 107. Yeah. Okay, by the way, I'm not going to go in there. The idea is once you try to connect there, it will ask you for the username and password, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the configuration and set this as no. Okay, because we are setting this up as anybody who could want to connect should be able to connect here, okay?
All right. That's fine.
Okay, so over here, you could allow if you want the anonymous to upload or not. Okay, usually this is not allowed. So, but here I'm gonna keep it enabled here. Okay, and let's see. And also you could give them if they would be able to, if they be able to create the directory or not. Okay. Why would you do that? Why would you allow anybody to be able to connect to this thing here? The reason being is just sometimes you would have a connection between the authenticated user and users who are trying to make a move a copy back and forth here. So if you are a user here, sometimes it's okay for you to be able to connect to the server like FTP and all that, because a lot of other services you don't have access to. Only thing you could do is move the files back and forth. Those are the only things you should be able to do. Okay, so this is the server here. And let's see if we could make a connection here. Okay, so now I'm going to restart the service. What is the service command? VSFTPD restart. Okay, so it restarted the service. And for you to, if you want to do it on the Red Hat 7, the command is this. This is the command you have to do. Service firewall D. Okay, and okay, yeah, for on your client, you have to have the FTP client running here. So I think I started the wrong server here. Let me just shut this down. I think it was one of these 7, right? Okay, yeah. So FTP is installed on here. Okay, so on the client box, you have to have a FTP also installed here. Okay, so let me just make this bold. If you want to make a FTP connection, the FTP service has to be running on here. Okay. Hmm. Systemctl status ftp.service. Okay, let me just try to connect from here to there. (106), right? FTP. Okay, so I'm connecting to the FTP server and it's asking me for the username and password. If I hit enter, it says this FTP server is anonymous only. Login failed. Okay, so we have, if this was not anonymous setup, we would have to put in the username and password. It wouldn't allow us to do this here. Okay. All right. Good. So let me just okay, and then what you have to do is you have to enable anonymous as yes. Okay. Okay, and then the second one we're looking for is local enable. So this means that a local, you don't have to have a local user. So what this means is you don't have to have a username set up on a server. So on this server, the one we are looking at, it doesn't have to have a user on it. Okay, good. And other things we are looking down is, and then we want an anonymous user to upload the files. You could make it yes. So let me ask you, in the real world scenario, what would be the good case? Good case for this here. I'm telling you that this can be set up to enable this so that a person from the internet, the person who is not within the company, is somebody who's outside the company is able to do this, is able to connect to the server and able to copy the files and upload the files here. What would be the good case? Can somebody take a guess?
In the real world scenario, it's supposed to be only authorized users can log in and copy back and forth.
No. So what happens sometimes in real world scenario, like you're dealing with IBM, right? Okay, so what happens is sometimes IBM, right here, I'm connected to the IBM server here, and they have already set this up here, and I am connecting as a anonymous user. I'm not even working for IBM. See, look, there's IBM.com. So the use case scenario for this is if I have a IBM equipment, like if I'm working on AIX or something, then I open a trouble ticket with IBM. They will ask you to give the logs. Okay, they will ask you to give the logs, and they will give you the URL, the location of the FTP server, so that you could log it. So what you normally do is you could go in there and then open in the browser like this here, and see I'm connected to IBM host. Let me see if I'm able to create a new folder here. So maybe this this one is not. Let's see. See, I have all this information available to me. If okay, yeah, this is empty. Here, but in nutshell, what will happen is they will provide you a dedicated support URL here, dedicated support FTP host, so that you could go in there and upload the support files or support logs. They will ask you to upload the support logs so that they would know and they would help you with if you're having a problem that is not able to resolve by the engineering team. Okay, so who else is out there who's doing this? Any big corporation, HP is doing it, IBM is doing it, Dell, Red Hat. If you open a support ticket with Red Hat, they will give you the FTP location so that you go there and upload the logs. Okay, so this is one of the best use case for anonymous user.
Zafar, I tried to connect this IBM side from Microsoft Edge. It is connecting as a anonymous user, but when I try to use Chrome, it is asking me user ID password. It's saying that your connection to this site is not private, and it's asking user ID password.
Try to go into the cognito mode.
Which mode?
Incognito.
I don't
Private
know.
mode.
Oh, then I need to go to setting, right?
No, from the Chrome, you go into here, and then you would see the private window or the incognito mode.
Okay. Okay, I'll figure that out later then.
Let's type Red Hat. Okay, right here. It says here how to provide files to the Red Hat support team. So each support team may have their own FTP issue set up, secure FTP, and then it's telling you to, and it's even has like an anonymous user here. So you get the idea here. You don't, I mean, the reason they want is if you email them, the files could get changed here. If you upload through FTP, the files and then the format and everything stays the same. Okay, especially when you're sending the logs. When you're sending the logs to the support team, like here, I think I showed you the message folder here, right? So in here, cd var, these are the logs here. These are like many logs in here. If you install an application, for example, Oracle application, the logs will start sitting in here because this is where the logs are being collected here. So if you have an open ticket with for example, Red Hat, what they will do is they will ask you for the logs information. So what you do is you send them a message or whatever the log they will ask you to do. You will do this and then copy it and change the permissions, and then you come here, and then what you do is you just copy this information and then upload it. Okay, so it's giving the instructions how you would do it. You could definitely try this out and see if you could do this on your own once you have the FTP server set up here. No, you don't have to have a FTP server set up. All you have to do is you have to have a FTP service running on your host so that you could upload the files here. Sometimes the size of the files could be in gigs. So that's why this is being used here, okay? Good. So make directory allows Did that explain your question? Okay, good. Okay. So what else we could do is to further continue on, and whatever the directory is being shared, you have to make it readable and writable. Okay, so for that, in this case, the directory which is being shared is I think this one here, cd var ftp. Okay, so FTP is the directory that is being shared. So normally what you do is you go in there and then change the directory permissions here. Okay, so you usually give the permission 777. That means everybody could read and write and all that. So we're going to go deep into the permissions, not now, but a little later. Okay. So I think we almost have completed this, and change the Okay, this directory could be anything. You could go ahead and change this directory, whichever one you want to set this up. Okay, but normally this is the default directory. Okay, good. So I'm going to put in more information here once I'm done with the class. But you could follow through all this and set this up here. I think a lot of you have set this up and then have a good success with this, right? If anybody is having struggling with this, ask in the group, then I could help you furthermore. Okay, good. Okay, so we are done with this subject here. So the next thing I want to start covering is setting up a Yum repository. So you've seen me going onto the internet and typing Yum and install this and that, but normally what happens is in your environment, you normally don't go out to the internet and install something off the internet just like that, okay? Because you would run into a security risk. Okay, so to avoid that, what you have to do is you have to set up an internal box that the people or whoever want to try to want any software to install, they connect to the internal box internally and then install the software from there. Okay, so let's go ahead. Before that, let me cover something a little bit about RPM. What is RPM? I'm going to cover RPM first. Okay, let's see here. We started this. Okay. RPM. So what does RPM is? RPM stands for Red Hat Package Manager. Okay, what does it mean? What it means is, so Red Hat came up with the management of the packages. So what does package means in here? In this context, package means the software that you want to install on top of the operating system here. Okay, that's what it means, package. Okay, so let's take a look here. Open source and most popular package management utility was Red Hat based Linux here. Okay, so if you check for anything which is running using a RPM based Linux, that means you have already worked on it. So let's see RPM based Linux. Okay, so what you could do is on your resume, you could put down all this here. You have worked on Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora, SUSE, and whatever this one is. I've never seen that before. So all these are RPM based Linux. Okay, Red Hat Package Manager. Okay, let's take a look how this works here. So for you to be able to install the package, there is a process. There is a few commands you have to use here. So I'm going to show you how we use the packages, or use a install package without using yum. So very first thing you need to do is we need to add the CD here. So let's add a CD. Okay, so we have added CD here before, right? But we don't know what's inside the CD. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. So what I did was I added a CD. What is that CD has? It has an operating system on it, right? That's all we know so far. So let's take a look here. Okay, previously we never have done this. What we have done so far is we added the CD and it started the system and installed the operating system. But let's take a look inside the CD here. So let's see here. Downloads 6.9. Oops, it's free. Okay, right here. Okay, I have one CD. This is the ISO disk here. So I change the archive. I'm going to right click and open. And then I'm going to open this in the archive mode. Okay, not this one. This one here maybe. Oops. How can I open this? Open with. Okay. So we are looking inside the CD, and we have some of these system files here. And this one says images. It has image in here. It doesn't mean the pictures, it means the snapshot of the machine. Packages. Okay, so these are the extra packages that comes on the CD here, and if you look at the extension, it says .rpm. RPM stands for Red Hat Package Manager here. So I'm going to show you how we do this in Linux here. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the command okay, so let's see here. Mount -a. Okay, so we mounted the CD, but it's not in there. Let me restart the system here. If not, then I have to use the scp command.
Did we really mount the CD?
No, we didn't.
So then how were we expecting that here?
Yeah, that's why I shut it down. Oh, I restarted, right?
Yeah.
But I attached the CD here, didn't I?
No, you attached, but I think will not mount to any folder, basically.
I mean, you can mount to any location.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mount to any location here, so let's see.
Mount -a will read FS tab, and there's no entry. We didn't add any entry over there.
Yes. But if you have attached something, you should be seeing LSBLK. Let's see if it's going to do that. For CD, it may not do it, but we'll see if it's going to work.
I did mount the image. I used Dave/CD-ROM, then the mount point.
Okay. What was the command you used? I don't want this, man. Shoot.
I used mount slash Dave/CD-ROM, then the mount point. I mount it to the default flash mount.
Okay. Mm. Oh, shoot. I'm going to use a different method here because I need to set up a yum also. So let's do this. Actually, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fresh copy of the I'm going to use, I cloned this one here, the one which never been messed around with. So I'm going to use that, a fresh copy, so that we have a clear understanding. Okay, let's go ahead and go into settings, network, enable, host only, allow. Okay, good. Okay, one of you is already ready with the resume and all that. I want whoever think they're ready, approach me, because the market is really hot. I'm surprised. I got like two full-time interviews lined up for next week. So I'm not even kidding. I think Amir is ready. Some of the ladies are also ready. So we should start making your resume and then start rolling this up. And I got like 3 or 4 external recruiters I could hook you guys up with. And most of the time, if you have learned so far, you're pretty much in good shape here. The rest of the other things we're going to cover is just the configuration and setup. Okay, so if you're serious, let's get started on here, getting you guys the jobs, okay?
But Zafar, is there any template we should be looking at, or anything you mentioned about just mentioning the commands and whatever we learned?
No, yeah, no, I'm going to work one-on-one with you, okay?
Okay.
So, but what I'm looking for from you is you send me your existing resume, then send me what you have learned in the Word document, then we'll set up a time together and then work on it.
Okay, I had sent you my existing resume long time back.
No, not, yeah, I got your once.
Okay.
Then I want a document that
Okay.
I want you to see what you are able to put on the document, on the resume, that what you have learned. You just take a Word document and simply start putting in what you have learned so far.
Okay.
Just put in the bullet points and then send it to me. Then we'll set up a time. I set up a time with Mazhar and Mason. He's all set with the resume and everything.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay, so IP address is not being shown here. So can somebody tell me what do I do?
We need to check the interface configuration file.
Yeah, the interface showing as ETH0. So I'm in here. So what do I do is I create the interface. VIIFCFG hyphen ETH0. Why am I using ETH0? Because over here, you see number 2 here, right against my arrow. Number 2 is ETH0 here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go up and we're going to go in here into the site and open this up and go into network. Okay. Oh, network interface. This one here. So we learned in the class here. This is what we're gonna put this information in here. So this is the essential 4 lines that you need to put in for the network to be working. Okay. Okay. So you go in here and you do ls. You do ls here. You do ls. Okay, and you look for it. But how do you determine what are you looking for? You type IP space ADDR. It says number 2 is ETH0, or you could do ifconfig, and this is not showing. So you have to create ETH0 because ETH0 is attached, but it's not being used, and it's giving you the information too. So what you do is VI.
So for Zafar, with IP address command, we see at least interface name, and with if config, we don't see even that name, right?
We don't see even that name.
Okay.
So you gather information typing ifconfig IPADDR. You get this information here. Okay, and it says when you type it, if you look across ETH0, it says state is down. So we're gonna create this document here, and then we're gonna bring it up. Device equals what would be the name here?
Internet, or I mean the ETH.
ETH what?
2. Oh no, not 2.
0.
0.
Exactly. Thank you. And type is equal Ethernet. And on boot, yes, we want it to boot up when the system boots up. And boot proto. What is boot proto means?
Protocol, DHCP or static.
Exactly. So we at this moment we just want DHCP. Okay. So we save and exit out of it, and we restart the service here. Service restart network.
Shouldn't we say network first? Service network restart?
That's for 7.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You got
Yeah.
me, man.
Yeah, service network restart.
For 7 is other way around.
Okay.
Hmm.
Can we use can we add the IP address in that interface configuration file to at least to see that it's reading that the
We
right?
could try that. We could definitely try that.
Yeah. I mean, it will not necessarily connect us to the internet, but we can see that if it's
Hardware address, that field is missing.
Yeah, but that's not necessary.
Oh, okay.
Let's take a look here. Did I type the wrong? IFCFG 880.
if you use -L, so at least then we'll see all the files in one line basically. You know, that always easy.
What?
-L, I mean, to see the, yeah, and
Yeah, usually you have to scroll up here because
okay.
normally the ETH ones that we're concerned is on our top left here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just restart here and see what happens. Oh, this is a problem. Okay, so we're kind of wasting time here, but let me go ahead and pick the one which is working here, and let me just name it Yum. Okay, all right, let me just get this started. This is the one, right? This is the good one which was working all along. Yeah. So it has a NAT gateway, so I'm going to disable that. Okay, this is 104. Mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually copy the CD using WinSCP. Okay. You guys should have installed WinSCP start of the class. Okay. And you give the username root and the password is password. Okay. And potential. Okay. So here is the root folder. So where am I here? In here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and delete everything from here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the CD in here. Okay, so I need to go find where the CD is at. Okay, so I have this CD. What you could do is you could just simply drag and drop. So you should start copying in here. You could do ls here. And then the CD is being copied here. So we're going to wait a little bit patiently so that the CD gets copied. Okay, if you ever get the error that the CD is not being copied, make sure the size of your main boot drive is 16 GB. Okay. Or if you have something additional attached, you could copy there too, I suppose.
Well, so earlier, the name of the interface file we were using, I believe we used the wrong format of the file name. We should have used ifcfg, then hyphen, then the interface name.
That's what we had, ifcfg hyphen eth0, right?
Okay. Okay. I don't know if we used ifcfg before.
If CFG, yep, confirmed.
Okay.
I'll check it later here.
Okay.
Okay, so we are done. So we are done here. So the file, the CD, the entire CD of 4 gigabytes is being copied here. Okay, so you close this here. Let's do ls. So the entire file is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mount the CD. Okay, so I'm going to use mount is the command, then -o, then we're going to mount the entire CD loop. Okay, and the name of the CD starts with CentOS, and you do tab, and then where am I going to mount? I'm going to mount it to MNT folder. Remember, you could create a new folder and mount it anywhere, but MNT is always sitting around and doing nothing. So you just do mount and you hit enter here. So what is the purpose here? If you go into MNT folder, if you do ls, you see all the files in here, just like we were viewing in the Windows mode. We were viewing in the Windows mode here. We have all the files in here, okay? All right, so let me copy this. Okay. So you have all these folders in the, so you have all this in there, and then the packages are sitting in the package directory. So what you have to do is cd and go into the package directory. So these are all the list of the packages which are available to you. Okay. So how are you going to install a package? You could relate this .rpm into Windows .msi, not .exe. Okay. Some of you guys might know what I'm talking about. Exe file. So normally in Windows you have like a similar looking folders, and then you would have like a exe file in here. Let me see if I have a Windows CD. Okay, so I have this Windows 10 image, and then I'm going to open it. Okay, so you have this set of file here, but also you would have like a MSI files here. Anybody know what's the path? Okay, whatever, that's Windows here. So let me clear this. So you go into packages folder and you do ls, and you have so many packages in there. So you could pick, for example, there is a zip package here. These are extras. Some may be already installed, some others are not. So let me see if there is a NC package here. ls. What is the command you use to filter it? What is the command you use to filter? Grep. Good.
And MSA files are in a hidden folder because of installer.
It's in hidden
Yeah.
for Windows?
Yeah, Windows \installer. If you type in the address bar, you will see that.
In the CD or in the C drive?
No, in the C drive. C /Windows \installer. Installer, yeah. It will not prompt because it's hidden, so you have to type installer, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is MSI, right?
Yeah. That's what Google says, basically. It's not,
But the extension would say .msi. Okay, so yeah, these are all the individual RPM packages you could compare with Windows. You could take this individual package and run it, and then it will start installing that particular thing here. So you have to research this. I think these are the patches, don't you think? Yeah, it says patch.
but it demonstrates our example, basically. So.
Okay, yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, so here's the NC command here. I think we used NC command too. Didn't we use the NC command previously? If you go in here into commands, when we were doing network, I think I used NC command.
I think we use CLI, not NC.
Okay, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how to install a package here. This one, we're going to use NC command here. So normally what you do is you do which NC, and if it's installed, it will tell you the location if it's installed or not. Normally it's installed in the bin directory, because bin directory is the place that installs the additional packages. So it goes into bin directory and see if the NC is there, and then it's not there, then it will return this message to you. So what is the command? How are you going to do that? You're going to do RPM, then hyphen, then you do IVH. Okay, now we could take a look here. What does IVH stands for? Man and RPM. First, we should see which RPM. So the RPM command is installed. So what you could do is man RPM. So the switch I'm using is IVH. Okay, so let's see.
The I switch went up there. It says installed.
Okay. I is print verbose information. V, I'm sorry, V. And I is without interrupts, I think. I is for install. And H for human variables. Oh, H stands for hash. Print 50 hash marks. Okay, so we'll take a look. And I. Okay, you could read up on that here. So the command I'm going to use is RPM hyphen IVH and then the name of the package. Okay, so the package
is for install basically.
Install, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you type the name of the package partially and then you do a tab. Okay, that's it, and you hit enter. Okay, so it went through and it found the package and it installed it. Remember, we are not on internet here. So we are not on internet, but we are still able to install the package locally. Okay, so now if you type which NC, it will tell you, it will give this output here. Basically, when you see an output like this, that means the package is installed. Okay, so how are you gonna remove it? It's pretty easy. RPM hyphen E NC. E means erase, and you hit enter. All right, the package is gone. So let's do which NC. The package is gone, it's not there anymore. Okay, so let me just copy this here. Okay, then you go to cd/mnt/packages. You do ls, and then you do install. Okay, this is the command you do. Then you type which NC and you get the output. Output is /var//usr. What was it?
Bin, I think.
Is it bin, right? Okay. bin/nc. Okay, then to remove the RPM, you just simply type RPM hyphen E and then the name of the package here. Okay, so let's do ls then grep. See, the Firefox is here too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this into the run level 5. Can somebody tell me what is run level 5?
It's a GUI mode.
Okay, so the Firefox is installed here. So I'm going to do
But Zafar, if we are using PROTech, then this 5 won't work, right?
it did work, right? I did it from Putty.
But they,
No, it won't work inside the Putty. No.
yeah, yeah. So because you are using console basically, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure why the mouse is not working in here. But anyway, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove Firefox. Okay, so what normally Firefox has is Firefox has dependencies on it. So using RPM is not a very good way to install packages. Okay, so let's do which RPM or which Firefox. So in this box, Firefox is not installed. Okay. So what is the preferred way to install something? The preferred way to install something
Yum.
is Yum. Okay. So we're gonna formally introduce Yum here.
So what's the logic behind this, Zafar, that we're saying that Yum is better than RPM?
Yum is what?
Yum is preferred than RPM. What's the pros in Yum and?
I will show you. Okay. So right now Firefox is not there. Uh, so Yum. Okay. So we're gonna. Okay. So we're gonna go here and go online. So then we go okay, so what is Yum? Yum is it's a package manager. It is managing the packages, RPM packages, or otherwise required to install software. Okay, so why is Yum preferred? Okay, by the way, this is what it means here. Yellow dog update update or modify. Command line as a graphical. So what is in nutshell, what is the yum is beneficial for? Yum is beneficial for any dependencies. Okay, sometimes you have some dependencies, like for example, if you want to install Firefox, it may have some dependencies. So yum is a preferred way to install packages or software. Okay, and it resolves any dependencies. Okay, so before you install, if you are online, what you could do is you could use the command yum provides Firefox and hit enter. So you could see that these are all the versions of Firefox available out there. Okay, but when you install Firefox, it will install the latest one, and it will also pull down the correct one here. When you
but where it is going, where Yum is going to get that packages?
Okay, right now by default is going on to the internet, and I think there is a repository set up by the built-in repository, a built-in information in the operating system itself. It's going into the repository here. So let's take a look here. It's a very good question. Okay, hold on. We have to go take a look into the built-in repository, which is using Yum. So let's go into cd/etc/yum.repo. Okay, so let me go ahead and cat this. Okay. So what is happening here is there's some files in here that are defined that is telling system to go to this URL here. So we could go to there directly also. Let me expand this. So one of them here is this one here. It's a mirror host. It's going into this place here. So let's copy this and try to go in there. So this is set up as a similar to as a FTP server. Okay. Okay, so these are the mirrors here. For example, these are placed all across the world, and we should have one here in US. Normally, these are hosted onto the independent places like university. So let's go in here, and it's sitting at Berkeley here. So we have have an independent moderator that is hosting this, and definitely you could trust University of Berkeley. Okay, so if you're downloading some package from here, then this is a trusted source, and this is exactly where the yum is connecting to your nearest location, and this is where it's installing the or getting the packages from. Okay, but in real world scenario, a big corporation, they don't trust this because all this need to be tested inside your organization before it goes into your machines. Okay, so for that we have to set up a local repository. So let's take a look here. This box already has um, Firefox on it. So, but this one doesn't have a Firefox installed here. Okay, so let me clear this. So if you are installing using the RPM, what you would do is you would use this command rpm-ivh and then Firefox. Okay, it will install this package for you. Okay, it says the package is already installed, so it's not going to do it for you. Okay, let's see what's going to happen here. Yum install Firefox. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. So it's searching the database. It's going to error out. Why did it error out? Because I typed in wrong. Okay, all right, here's the good information here. So there is one package installed, plus there are 83 dependent packages. So installing a Firefox, it has a list of 83. This is the main package, and it has 83 other packages that need to be installed for the Firefox to be working in a good condition here. Okay, this package is developed by Firefox, and the other ones which are additional may or may not be developed by Firefox. It may be developed by your own local organization, or these are developed by the independent users or by a corporation, and they think if this is something useful to the open source community, they will release this, and there are open source tester who tests this out and then confirms that this is a very good package to be used with this package. So what happens here is all these things this could be developed by Firefox, or this could be developed by Berkeley, this could be developed by people like you and me, and which are contributing to the betterment of open source software. So this is the advantage of having an open source, that people are contributing for the sake of good. And at the same time, when you're using the yum, as you see, it has 83 dependencies here. You may or may not be able to install all of them using RPM. Okay, so if I do -y, it's going to go ahead and install Firefox for us.
Suppose if yum provides will download and yum install the package. Is that true?
No, yum provides is giving you information. It's just information.
Okay.
And yum install is going to install it, and yum remove is going to remove this package here. So what it's going to do is it's going to try to remove everything which is associated with this package that was installed. Is going to remove those two.
So if we install something using yum, can we remove that using RPM?
No, don't do that. You
No,
are
I'm
setting
just
yourself
asking.
for a disaster because you don't know what you're uninstalling.
Okay.
Because here I try to remove it using RPM here.
Yeah.
And it kind of error out, it exactly doesn't know which ones to do it because RPM is only looking for one package at a time.
Okay. What about vice versa? If we install something using RPM and uninstall using yum?
I don't think it would work.
Okay.
Yum is going to go through its repositories and then what I have installed from its little database that it creates
Okay.
and goes through of that.
Got it.
But we could definitely try here, yeah.
Well, you're correct. Basically, yum will start filling because it would look at the dependencies as well, which all of them might not be installed, etc. So.
Yeah. So it will give you the final word. It says complete. Now which Firefox. So Firefox is installed, nice and good. Okay, to uninstall, you type yum remove Firefox. Okay. So it's telling you it found the package here, and you want to remove it. Yes.
209 megabyte is the size, right?
Yeah. So it removed all the other dependencies also. Okay.
Zafar, I have a question. Like, for example, in Windows, when you remove an application, sometimes the remaining packages are still there, like in the Windows. Is that the same thing for Linux?
If those are shared packages, then it probably won't remove it. Windows is true. It's to be honest with you, I have some knowledge of how Windows works and packaging on the Linux side. I never really had to do, never worked on the packaging side, so I don't have good experience on that one. But I believe you are right. If you install something, but it also depends how you're doing it. Okay, if you're doing it from the add remove program, and if you download it independently, then it does it. But if the Windows package is packaged, like most companies package it internally and send it out through the tuner and distribute it within the company because it's packaged, it's part of a wrapper. I think that's what it's called, wrapper. Most companies, what they do is they test it out and install any dependencies and build that into one package. A good example would be a Java. Some software would require Java version to be installed, right? So when you're doing a software testing, you install that on a machine and then check for any dependencies, and you also make those dependencies and wrap it in a wrapper and make it a package out of it and distribute it. So all these things are called software distribution, packaging and distribution. So there is another for Linux. It's a little bit easier because it's being done by the open source community and free work is being done on a voluntary basis. So your local engineering team, they don't have to do a lot of lot of legwork compared to Windows. I believe Windows releases updates, right? That updates, the security updates that come out every Tuesday of the month, every second Tuesday of the month. You have to install it, test it, package it, and then send it out on your network. So that makes it a little complex managing the Windows, and that's why having a Windows environment is expensive, because you have to have a license also, and then you have to have a high maintenance.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So I think we are out of time here. Tomorrow we're going to set up a local repository. Even we could set up Yum here locally, even without going online here. So let's see, are we online? So if I type command yum install nc, it's going to try to go online, and then it's going to error out. It's going to try to go online to this. This is the very first repository. Repository is nothing but a little bank. It's like a bank where all the software is sitting. So it's trying to go to the bank and try to install it from there, but it's erroring out because we don't have a internet connection. So we're going to set up it locally, and then we reroute this path to our local server. That way it's going to go there and install it from there, okay, using Yum. Okay, so we're going to stop here tomorrow. We're going to set up the Yum repo, and then we'll go forward from there. I was hoping to finish this today, but apparently it took longer.
जफर भाई,
Yeah.
वो ये कोर्स का कंटेंट किधर से मिल सकता है?
Which course?
ये आप जो डॉक्यूमेंट डिस्प्ले कर रहे हैं with all the topics.
Who are you? Who's talking?
मेरा नाम इमरान है.
Okay. You were not joining the class all these days?
I just joined today.
Joined today.
Yeah, is this the first session?
Okay, man. Side chat me, okay?
Okay.
Zafar bhai, don't mix me up. My name is also Imran Subhani, but I've been with you like from day one.
I know. That's why I
Yeah.
him before I made conclusion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. We'll wrap this up, and then we'll start tomorrow. Okay.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.